Genshin Impact. It's one of the most high-end games available on the App Store right now. Today I'm going to present my initial thoughts on this open-world RPG and showcase how it performs across my Apple devices. Pause the video now for the game's requirements and supported devices. Genshin Impact offers a massive open world and some of the best RPG elements and fantasy combat that I've seen on mobile. It's quite different to the dev's previous game, Honkai Impact 3rd, in terms of its quests and combat systems and exploration. This is a true open world RPG. You know when you see those misleading ads for free RPG games on YouTube? And I think you know what I'm talking about. They promise amazing graphics and gameplay, and then you go to install the app and discover it's nothing alike. Well, Genshin Impact is similar, but instead the trailer footage is what the gameplay actually looks and plays like. It's fantastic to see. Yes, it's free to play, but it has all the content and polish one could easily expect from a retail package, at least from what I can see. The most disappointing thing about the game is the lack of controller support. I don't like playing these sorts of games on the touchscreen, it's just too awkward for me. It's not built for a touchscreen. I keep pressing the wrong on-screen buttons. The game obviously has controller support on PS4 and Nintendo Switch, so surely it can't be too difficult to add it to iOS. I mean, iPhone and iPad now have official support for DualShock 4 and Xbox One controllers. And besides that, the game's UI is already set up for a controller. Hopefully, controller support is added in the future because it's really needed.
When it comes to wet enemies, I've got them covered.
Anyway, I've played around 3 hours so far. That's not much, but still, within those hours, I've still been able to grasp at the amount of depth that is here. We have a pretty engaging campaign that is fully voice acted with support for 13 different languages, and there is a wealth of lore to discover here. The game isn't very difficult, mind you, and is more tailored towards a casual single-player experience, but it does have up to 4-player cross-platform cooperative multiplayer, which you can enjoy later on in the story. I also love how you can change characters during combat and how all their elemental skills have advantages and disadvantages for different environments and enemies. I'm actually not very good at the game, which you can probably tell, but I'm sure some of you out there will be able to pull off stunning chain reactions. But let's get the elephant out of the room though. Many of you have been saying that Genshin Impact is very similar to Zelda Breath of the Wild, from its energy system, mechanics, the glider you use, climbing, enemy types, and so forth. Well, the developer recently talked about this, saying, "Breath of the Wild was one of our inspirations. That said, it is important to note that once you actually pick up the game, you will find the experience of Genshin Impact to be very different. Genshin Impact features a fully original story and characters, and the core gameplay revolves around assembling a party of multiple characters and engaging in a combat system based on interactions between different elements. Take that information as you will. I personally haven't really played Breath of the Wild, so I can't comment on these similarities. Instead, I just had fun with the game and I didn't really care, to be honest." If you didn't know, Genshin Impact was designed to run on multiple platforms from the get-go. Despite being a high-end game, it wasn't to be limited by a platform. To get the game running here, it utilizes very advanced technology. We're talking Unity engine support on iOS. Motion capture was used for the characters. An automated detection tool was added to output the best graphical settings for your device. Playable characters and NPCs cast shadows in different light sources. We have a 24-hour dynamic lighting system, plus the developer has hinted at HDR support coming in the future. The developer has also said that the Unity engine allowed the game to scale well on low-end devices, while still retaining most of the detail in the world. Here is a comparison between highest and lowest graphics quality. Even on low quality, the game still looks pretty good. That said, high-end tier devices can enjoy higher render resolution, improved in-game brightness, explosion and light quality is better, ambient fog is more noticeable in scenes, and much more. I especially love how the game shows you the current performance load. I've actually never seen this on mobile before. It's very handy to avoid your device becoming overclocked. I will say enabling 60 FPS was great, but after some playtime the game would occasionally drop frames and get quite hot, even on my iPad Pro. What I did find was that disabling motion blur definitely helped to improve the FPS, and generally just looked better. Some textures and shadows in the distance also occasionally had some issues, either popping in and out or appearing in a low frame rate. Look, it's not very noticeable on an iPhone, but it is more apparent on the larger screen of an iPad. Hopefully the developer puts out a stability update to address this. The game will default to 30 FPS, and I would just suggest leaving it at that for the smoothest experience. Have you or will you play Genshin Impact on your iPhone or iPad? What do you think of the game? Do you think it's the best open world RPG on the App Store? What do you think of the game's graphics? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, as it greatly supports the channel. And subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with everything Apple gaming related. Anyway, my name's Stewie, and thanks for watching.